Hey, what's going on, guys? It is your good friend Matt. We are back again here today at the only place that we always can be. And as you guys already know, that's Matt's Wrestling Collectibles right here on YouTube. Guys, we're back again here today with a episode 2 of Matt's Wrestling Collectibles Casual Conversation. Kind of a time where we break down a little bit of something, we talk a little bit about what's going on in the wrestling world. It's going to be a new thing. It's only our second episode, so hopefully this is something you guys will start to enjoy more and more as we continue making more episodes of this. So, today, episode 2 of the Casual Conversations here on Matt's Wrestling Collectibles. What is the topic? Well, the topic is already in the title, so you guys already know that. But today, what we're going to be talking about is none other than the state of wrestling right now. Mainly WWE, a little bit of AEW, a little bit of a few other things that tie in, but really, where is wrestling right now as we are on the road to WrestleMania, and what a road it has been so far. Guys, as you already know, as all of you already know, this is something that we see every year from WWE. And of course, it has had its highs, it's had its lows, but it's been something that we've been dealing with now for a very, very long time. And that is that on the road to WrestleMania, we start to see a little bit of a pickup in, you know, the language, the things that are being said, the things that are being done. And even if you go back to when the PG era really first started, if you go back to that time, if you go from then and you kind of move your way all the way through the roads to WrestleMania, all the way up until even last year, you will see that there has always been a little bit of a increase in the profanity, the cursing, the derogatory comments, some of the things that they say, and, you know, a lot of words that we're going to leave out today just because we don't want to get demonetized on this video, even though I don't think we're monetized anyway. We still got a few more subscribers to go before we even hit that, so who knows? Maybe we'll just start swearing and going off the rip here. We'll go right off the cusp. It won't matter. We'll pull a rock on a rock. That's what we're going to do, right? We're going to pull a rock on ourselves right here on Matt's Wrestling Collectibles. We're the rule maker, so we're also the rule breaker. Remember that. Remember that, because we're going to get back to that a little bit later in this video. But with that being said, today, as we go into this, like I said, this road to WrestleMania has become something that I'm very excited to continue to see these next few steps before we do get to WrestleMania. I mean, remember, guys, it's pretty crazy to think we're only getting through the rest of this week here. We've got Friday Night SmackDown, we've got Monday Night Raw, and we've got one more Friday Night SmackDown before we hit WrestleMania. We've also got a couple other things in there, as well as obviously we've got NXT coming up this next coming week. We've also got the Hall of Fame that is on Friday. We've got the release of the Bray Wyatt documentary, which is also on Friday. A lot of good things coming up, and WrestleMania weekend only, 9 days away now? 8 days away? Something like that. It's so crazy to think, you know, we're finally here. So we've only got a few more, pages in this chapter. I don't want to say chapters because that's kind of where we're at. We're at the final chapter, and or I should say we're at the chapter before the final chapter. So we've only got a few more pages to write in this history book here, and what will happen over the next week, it is to be seen. But so with that, let me kind of start to break down and say what we like about this and what we're enjoying so much, at least from my perspective, not speaking for everybody. But also, with that being said, sound off in the comments below to the things that I'm saying. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you have a different viewpoint to what I'm about to say? We'll find out, right? So here we go. I want to say that with what is going on currently in the state of wrestling, I mean, we look at the stuff with the Bloodline, The Rock, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, the list goes on and on. We've got Gunther, we've got Sami Zayn, we've got so many pieces to the WrestleMania puzzle. We've got, Jimmy and Jay. There is a lot going on, and I am loving the content that we are getting. As a kid who grew up in the Attitude Era, I just can't stress enough how awesome it is to see wrestling at where it's at right now. I think anybody that's watching this would agree. Maybe the people that disagree might be the ones that have young children. Maybe it's not exactly what you want the product to be, especially for maybe a child who's been in love with wrestling for so long, and now all of a sudden this product is taking a turn. There's being, like I said, comments and scenarios and situations and just some vulgar language in there that's definitely, for sure, going over the top. I will say this. When MJF said to Tony Khan, fire me, you effing Mark, I didn't think we would ever see something like that coming out of the WWE product at that time. I didn't even think the WWE product would even turn to something like that. And with the other night, with Monday Night Raw being behind us, what a change, you know, what a change that is, that has been. And not to sit there and say that they haven't been saying words, you know, that were still a bit on the up and up of what we're not used to. But this is crazy to sit there and see the things that were being said. The Rock, I think, dropped an MFer the other night on Monday Night Raw. I'm pretty sure that was what happened. We got the cut footage. I've looked for a video of the non-cut footage. I did find one, but it was so much noise and all this background noise. There was a lot going on in it. So hopefully I'll be able to find maybe another one down the road, and that could be a conversation in another video. But the MFers, you know, the B words, the a-holes, and I'm myself trying not to say this right now as I'm going, you know what I mean? It's so crazy for me to, you know, to monetize myself, right? Or demonetize myself, right? Whatever the words you want to look for there. It is me putting an FCC won't let me be on my own self right here, you know. I am definitely not shy to say it, that on a daily basis, if I had a collective count of how many swear words I say from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed, we'd be on the board, that's for sure. I don't know how close I'd be to number one, but I'm sure I'm up there for certain on a day-to-day basis with the people that are around me in my everyday life. I am certainly, if I'm not in the top 10, or if I'm not in the top 5, I'm definitely in the top 10. And so, with that being said, to get back to the point here, you know, we had a lot of great segments. You know, we had CM Punk and Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre all out and speaking to one another, and I really like what we're seeing here. I think it's a good way to continue to keep Punk in relevancy. I think it's a good way to keep him on TV. I think it's a good way to keep him, you know, known to the crowd and not to forget him, because also the other thing you have to remember with WWE, if we're pushing products, we're pushing t-shirts, we're pushing hats, we're pushing lanyards, we're pushing necklaces and coffee cups and collector cups and promotion magazines and the promo programs that you get at the show, and we're going to come out with a new figure and we're dropping a Mattel Creations, and CM Punk is everywhere. We're putting the face everywhere he said it wasn't 10 years ago. Or what am I saying, 10 years ago? God, I think we're going back even a little bit further now. Was it 10 years? It was 10 years, yes. It would have been about 10 or 11 years ago. So, you know, at that time, I remember when CM Punk was saying that stuff, you know, all this money the company is dumping into things that don't have him on the product. And now, look at him being the face of the product. I mean, you have to think about this with the fact that Roman Reigns is, you know, the champion, and we have The Rock being put out there, the bloodlines out there. You know, we have the guys like Gunther, Sami Zayn, we have the Seth Rollins, we have so many people in this industry right now that could be the face of a collector cup, of a program, of a magazine, if there was one still. And RIP to WWE Magazine. My God, what a hit right in the heart that is. I actually have the last WWE magazine that they ever made, and I'm sure a lot of you guys do as well. For anybody out there who had a you know, magazine subscription for all those years, very, very tough to see physical media go in some ways. But back to the point of now seeing Punk on these collector cups, on these programs, on everything that is able to be produced with him on it. He is really turning into the face of this company, and I think that is one of those things that you will see as time goes on. You are going to see this complex integration of CM Punk being put into so much, and I can't wait for it. I really do think that he's very deserving of it. You know, many people have a lot of difference in opinion of what he is as a person, as a wrestler, as a human, as just so many different things. But at the end of the day, I think CM Punk is a good person as a human. I think he is a phenomenal talent. I think he is a phenomenal microphone and speaker at that. I think he has a lot of charisma and has proven that year in and year out. And he definitely doesn't need me to throw those you know, those compliments his way. I'm sure he is very well aware of this without, you know, Matt's Wrestling Collectibles being there to say that. But an amazing performer, and as well as all of them being in that ring, an amazing group of performers, and back to the same list of people that I have mentioned in just this Monday Night Raw that passed. You go CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, The Rock, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, and I know not even to say that Roman Reigns being involved in the segments, but just the simple fact of you have so much talent in this pool right now. It is absolutely crazy. But to get to the point of where Monday Night Raw is and where this product is right now, we are seeing such a jump in this in-your-face, all-out, brute and bashful style that's just so, like I said, just so in your face. It's crazy to see that it's back to what it once was. And I feel that, like I said, we've always had these on the road to WrestleMania, but with this, it's a completely different thing. It's a completely different, it's a completely different experience this time around, because we've been without it for so long, in the fact that, yes, we had these times moving into WrestleMania over the years. You know what? You get somebody calling somebody a female dog. You get somebody calling somebody an a-hole. It's the truth. But to see these over-the-top things being said, I mean, you got to remember, there were a lot of kids in attendance the other night at Monday Night Raw. I am sure, like I said, some parents, some age groups are probably not fond of where this is going. And speaking about not being fond, I don't like strawberry banana almost any time. Doesn't matter. Not my thing. Strawberry banana prime. We've got it here. We tried that out the other day. First time I've had it. Not for me. I just don't like the flavor, so I don't really want to give it a bad rating. But it's just not my forte. The lemonade was great. The Meta Moon was great. The ice pop is great. The Halloween flavor they came out with there, that I don't know what it was, glowberry or something like that. That was pretty good. But I'm not crazy about the strawberry banana prime. But big shout out to Logan Paul, because it's almost like prime is now a WWE thing. Even that, we can even talk about that. I mean, prime being on the center of the canvas. A lot of people against that. Some people are for it. Some people are saying we're surprised it hasn't happened sooner. For all these years, people have been saying, that was a big Vince McMahon thing. No promos, no whatever on the ring canvas. Obviously we've gotten them on the skirts. We've gotten things on the backings of the turnbuckle posts. But we've never received an actual, I don't know, in-ring mat promotion. Maybe at some point along the way there has been one, and it was never to be seen again. But very, very happy for Logan. I think that's great. An amazing businessman. And again, somebody who, love him or hate him, the talent is certainly there. And I'm looking forward to seeing the years ahead that we get with Logan Paul. Somebody that I think will be a phenomenal asset to the WWE as a whole. And I can't wait to see the face turn of Logan Paul, because he's definitely got that, that reach and that, that connection to a lot of people, as well as even watching his podcast the other day. Guys, check out Impulsive on YouTube, a great podcast. He just had Rhea Ripley on, a phenomenal interview. Love watching the biographies of wrestlers, and love being able to just see, what they are like outside of the ring, when the persona gets put to the side and the real person comes out. So that's always fun to watch, and very much enjoyed. So shout out to Logan Paul, Impulsive, and Prime, and everything that he's doing as a whole for being an ambassador, essentially, at this point for WWE. Again, back to the product, though. It's one of those things where I think that, we have seen such a turn, and, even like CM Punk the other night sitting there saying, hey, will I be at WrestleMania? Will I be at CM Punk? Will I be at WrestleMania? He said the short answer is yes. And of course, he's not going to be wrestling, but he said, my mouth works. He said, April knows what I'm talking about. And as you all know, that is a reference to AJ Lee. April, I think it is Mendez, if I'm not mistaken. Sometimes I get so many names in my head, I get a little confused. So sorry, guys, if I'm off on that. But a big shout out to April, as he said there. And, he said she knows what I'm talking about. And that's, again, a little bit more than a PG-13 reference. So very, very cool to see that, and to see, Punk is having fun. These people are having fun. CM Punk sitting there saying, hey, Drew, I never had to put another man's name on a t-shirt to sell one. And that is another just absolute, that dagger. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's a great, great thing to see that we're going back and forth. And, even the thing with Seth Rollins, do you want to know what I think of you, Punk? Nope. Just such a quick turnaround to that. How cool that was, how funny that was to see something that we don't normally see. It's just fun to see wrestling finally going in a direction that it just needs to be. It needs to be in this direction. It needs to be more in your face. It needs to sell the product. And I know we've been doing it every year. Like I said, it's usually that gray area between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, and whether Elimination Chamber's been in it, whether Fastlane was in it, whether it was No Way Out, no matter what it was, between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania and the pay-per-view that was in between those two, there was always that, there was always that just that build up, that extra little bit of, like I said, that extra little throwing things that we don't normally throw out there. So it's nice to see. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the product. I'm enjoying seeing the absolute joy that I think we're seeing from Michael Cole on commentary, as well as Pat McAfee. We could even say Wade Barrett. We could say Corey Graves. We could say Byron Saxton. So many people that are available to be just that. I mean, as well as even Booker T. Being on commentary, and it just seems like everybody's enjoying it much more, and they're having a much better time. They're having fun. They're having a good time at work again, and it makes you question a lot to what was really going on with Vince, to what was really happening. It seems like a lot of this has all come about at once, and not to sit there and say that I could go on and name names over and over here, but, we go through, and I don't want anybody to think that when I say these names that I'm directly relating them to doing the same thing. That is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that they fall in a similar category. So, with like Vince McMahon, you go to like the Harvey Weinsteins, now P. Diddy, this whole Nickelodeon thing with members of Nickelodeon that worked for them, as well as, Dan Schneider, and you look at that whole scenario and situation. You look at the there's just so many things, guys. There's so many people that are on this list now as it continues to grow. And as I pull a hair from the tongue, we're talking so much here today. That's it. We're getting a little bit too much. The mouth is working a little too hard today, as I could make a shout out to somebody right now, but I will leave her out of this, as I am not CM Punk and I am not on World National Television making millions. So instead of being in the doghouse, I will leave that comment to myself. But as you guys all know here, it's one of those things, again, like I said, we look at this product, we see what these people have done, we see a lot coming out about them. It's very, very disheartening. It's very sad to see. It's sad to read. Some of the people that we've grown up, looking up to, and myself being one to say, hey, Timmy, hi, buddy. We're in the middle of a video. Did you want to get on the video too? Okay, here, look. Yeah, you sit with me. Here we go, guys. We've got a special guest. Our good man, little Timothy, is taking his second shot here at being on the screen. We had little Timmy join us the other day, but Timmy is here. Timmy, you want to say hi to the people? No, he's still tired. He just got up. But so guys, as I was saying, when it comes down to this whole entire thing and just everything, it's sad to grow up looking up to these people. It's sad that we grew up, in a way, looking up to Vince McMahon. We were looking up to just so many big names. I mean, I remember looking up to these people and thinking like, wow, guys like Diddy, Guys like these big movie stars, it's like, oh man, how much I'd love to be like them someday, to be a boss, to be a rapper, to be a movie star, everybody's had their dreams over time. Right, Timmy? You've had your dreams too? You'd want to dream to grow up to be a big kitty. Yeah, someday. But, with all of that, guys, it's sad to see that this is kind of where things have gone, but the other side of it is turning around finally, and I think that's what's great. I think that we're going to see an amazing WrestleMania this year. Hopefully CM Punk will have involvement in it one way or the other, and we'll see what happens from there. Little Timmy, you going to watch WrestleMania with us? Yeah, I think little Timmy's going to be glued to the set. WrestleMania night 1 and 2, huh, bud? Yeah, you're going to be all excited for WrestleMania? We're going to watch it together? So, but guys, yeah, I think with all that being said, the state of wrestling is great. I think we look at AEW, even like I said, I want to touch on that a little bit. The match with Edge and Christian this past week, absolutely amazing, phenomenal. I mean, just what a career-defining match between two people that know each other better than anybody else. And actually, with that being said, guys, I do want to say one thing that actually got me a little furious this week. I was on the Facebooks, and I was looking at some stuff that was through another wrestling page, and it said, who is more of an impactful force? Who is a more impactful tag team? And who has done more for the business? Timmy, you getting ready to get out of here? It's okay. We'll let you go. Go ahead, Bubba. So, Timmy's making his exit. But it said, who is a more impactful force? The Young Bucks or Edge and Christian? I was just blown away when I saw that. And I am not in any way trying to discredit the Young Bucks. But I can tell you right now, there is no group of guys or tag teams that you're going to pull from the Attitude Era that are probably not going to outdo the Young Bucks as far as impact and legacy on the industry. I just don't think it is something you will see. And of course, there are some that may be close, but I do not think you will ever be able to see that as a debate. The Young Bucks are not better than Edge and Christian. They're not better than the Hardy Boys. They're not better than the Dudley Boys. They're not better than majority of the groups that came out around that time because of what wrestling was. And I'm not discrediting them by any means. The Young Bucks have done a lot. They have created a whole different entity in the wrestling world of what we can view as a product on AEW. But I do not believe that they are outdoing the legacies or the long-term impact of Edge and Christian, as that was who they were being, debated against. But again, that's all opinion. Somebody who is the biggest fan of the Young Bucks and loves them to death and maybe didn't grow up in my era, and maybe somebody who's 10 years younger than me, or even a little bit younger than that, maybe even 15 years younger than me. I got to start remembering, guys, I'm getting a little old here. We're coming up on 30. We're coming up on the big 3-0. So, 15 years ago, or going back 15 years for somebody who's 15 right now, they may believe that, the Young Bucks are better than Edge and Christian. So I don't doubt that it is a possibility and it is out there, but I don't think that is the case for most people who are going to debate that off of pure logic, I should say, basing it off of reality, as I would like to use the term, very reality-based. Shout out to Eric Bischoff, 83 weeks, Conrad Thompson, the guys there. And shout out to Jim Cornette. I mean, can we believe that? CM Punk dropping on Monday Night Raw that he is listening to Jim Cornette. Not that he said Cornette's name directly, but I mean, wow, how cool was that? It's, again, the times are changing in professional wrestling. It's great. So I don't know what else I could say more, going into the rest of the night, going into some other segments. I mean, we look at the segments that are going on between The Rock and Cody Rhodes, the Bloodline, all of that. I mean, that was just absolutely crazy. I loved that. I loved the way it started. I loved the way it ended. I loved that we actually saw, a real old school, old fashioned, beat down. The baby face gets the shit kicked out of him. And that's just the way it is. It was great, and I loved it. I loved seeing every second of it. The only thing that could have made that better is if they threw Cody Rhodes into a river somewhere. That would have made it even that much more better. But you know, it would have just been, like I said, it brings me back to my childhood and the things that I watched growing up. You know, the 98 starting to really go into 99 up until 2002, 2003. What a time to watch professional wrestling. You know, and I really say the golden time for me. I always ask everybody, what is their 10-year span of when wrestling was the best? For me, it's 98 to 2008. I don't think there's a better time. And granted, don't get me wrong, there was that little bit of time in there. 2006, 7, 8, it was a little but still a lot of good matches, a lot of good times. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. I love everything about it. I love everything about what was wrestling at that time. And that's just it, guys. What a time to be alive and watching wrestling live and in person. And it's just crazy. It's great. I can't wait to see where things go. It seems that people are having a lot of fun. They're enjoying, their jobs even more. And I can't wait to see what happens, as well as even the stuff with the Judgment Day and R-Truth and The Miz. And there's just so much. I could talk for another 20 minutes about it, but I'm not going to, because I don't want to make this video too long. But guys, this is episode 2 of Casual Conversations. We'll be back here again with another casual conversation down the road. Who knows what it will be about, but hopefully something interesting and something that is, on the top of everybody's mind. But until then, guys, I appreciate it as always. You're watching me, and I can't thank you enough for doing so. The only other thing I can ask of all of you, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, check out my other videos, hit the like button on this as well. It helps me tremendously to get these videos up there in the YouTube algorithm, if you will. And yeah, guys, until the next video, I hope you've all enjoyed this one, and I will see you then. Stay tuned.